Once upon a time, in a beautiful, green village surrounded by tall trees and flowing streams, happiness was everywhere. This little hamlet always seemed to glow with joy. Every field was covered in lush green crops. Tall, stately trees lined the narrow paths. Violas, roses, marigolds, and lilies of every color bloomed on both sides of the streams that weaved through the village. It truly felt like a piece of heaven, although the houses were humble huts made of wood and straw. The people living there were kind and always helped one another in times of need. In this village lived a 25-year-old young man named Sinbad. He lived with his loving parents in a modest hut built of wood and thatch. Sinbad was tall and lean, with dark eyes full of curiosity, and sheaves of thick black hair that he often tied back when working. Every morning, Sinbad helped his parents tend the fields or collect firewood. But he had one special companion who shared all his adventures, an eagle named Bahadur. Bahadur was not just any eagle, his feathers were a deep bronze, and his eyes were sharp and intelligent. He was fiercely loyal to Sinbad, and the two of them understood each other as if they spoke the same language. Sinbad loved to sing and dance with his friends. One morning, they gathered in the village square, danced and sang this song.
Under the moonlight, we walk together with smiles and joy in any weather. The magic of friendship flows so free. In the village lanes, love you see. Forget all pain, sing a new song. Together we'll laugh all night long. Happiness here, joy so near. This is our world with nothing to fear. Hearts full of light, shining bright. This dream is real in the soft night. Hearts full of light, shining bright. This dream is real in the soft night.
That morning, after sing and dance with his friend, Sinbad and Bahadur walked through a field of golden wheat toward the village. Suddenly, they passed a small hut where an elderly man, over 90 years old, stood outside with a crooked staff in his hand. He had a long white beard that reached his waist and eyes that twinkled with ancient secrets. Villagers often called him the old storyteller. He always spoke about a stream full of diamonds, gold, emeralds, and rubies. But instead of water, it flowed with these gems. People didn't believe him. They thought it was just a made-up story. But Sinbad believed him and asked where the stream was. The old man said, "Walk deep into the jungle. When you see a light, you'll know the stream is near. But be careful. Poisonous snakes guard the stream. It won't be easy to take the gems." Sinbad returned home and told his parents everything. They were surprised but saw bravery and hope shining in his eyes. They embraced, and Sinbad packed a small bag, some food, a water skin, his sharp dagger, and a rope. And then, together with Bahadur, they left at dawn. The forest was thick with tall trees. Sinbad and Bahadur moved along a narrow trail. Suddenly, a group of wild men jumped out from behind trees. Their hair was wild and their faces painted. They wore rough animal skins and brandished spears. Sinbad froze, Bahadur hissed warningly. The leader, a tall and fierce man with a scar across his cheek, stepped forward. He ordered his people bring him to our chief, alive. The other wild men grabbed Sinbad. Sinbad struggled. They bound Sinbad's hands and feet and carried him away. They dragged Sinbad before the chief and threw him into a metal cauldron filled with hot water, or so it looked. The men cackled and stood back, pushing Sinbad's bound feet onto a small wooden stool in the cauldron as they prepared to light a fire underneath. A huge shadow soared down. It was Bahadur. With a fierce cry, the eagle attacked the guards. Claws tore through bark and flesh alike. Chaos erupted. On a beaten path, Sinbad broke free from the ropes as the guards scattered in fear. Bahadur came flying and lifted Sinbad with his claws. He saved him and flew away. Bahadur landing carefully and wrapping his wings around Sinbad protectively. Sinbad patted Bahadur. "Thank you. That was brave. Both of us are still alive because of you." That night, they rested near a stream under the moonlight. Everything looked magical. They drank water. Bahadur sat on a tree, and Sinbad lay under it. Suddenly, Sinbad saw a beautiful deer. When he followed it, the deer disappeared. He went back to sleep under the tree. In the morning, when he woke up, the same deer was standing near him. When he lovingly touched its head, he saw a nail. As he pulled it out, the deer turned into a beautiful 25-year-old girl. Sinbad was shocked and asked, "Who are you?" The girl smiled and said, "My name is Mehroo. I'm from Noorabad. A Sameri Jadugar wanted to marry me. When I refused, he turned me into a deer." Sinbad told her his story and about the magical stream. They decided to travel together. Just then, after a few days, they saw a bright light and knew they were near the river. 2 days later, they reached it. They walked into the clearing and stopped on the bank of a miraculous stream. It was unlike anything Sinbad or Mehroo had ever seen. Instead of water, it was alive with jewels, diamonds that glimmered like stars, pearls that glowed softly, rubies that pulsed with crimson fire, emeralds radiant like fresh leaves, and bars of shining gold. The current moved slowly like thick honey, shimmering. When Sinbad tried to pick up the gems, green snakes came out of the stream. Near the stream, there were chewing gum trees. Mehroo pointed toward them. Sinbad used his knife to cut the tree, and white liquid came out. He made balls from the gum and threw them into the stream. The balls stuck to the gems. Sinbad told Bahadur to pick up the balls. Bahadur grabbed them with his claws and brought them back. They collected bags full of treasure and returned to the village. Sinbad shared all the treasure with the village. The village became even happier. His parents arranged his marriage with Mehroo. The whole village was decorated with flowers and lights. Sinbad wore a sherwani. Mehroo wore a red dress. There were drums, dancing, and celebration everywhere. Sinbad told Mehroo, "You are the most beautiful part of my life. You made my journey magical." Mehroo smiled and said, "You gave me my life back. A friend and husband like you is rare." They started a new life, full of happiness and joy.